Backgrounds to fairy tale Cinderella. Cinderella, also known as a Aschenputtel in German, is a popular fairy tale collected by the brothers Grimm in their compilation Grimm's Fairy Tales, originally titled Children's and Household Tales or Kinder- und Hausmärchen in German, first published in 1812. The tale is classified as ATU 510A, Cinderella and the Glass Slipper, in the Arne-Thompsoner classification system, which categorize folktales based on their narrative structure and elements. The story of Cinderella can be traced back to various cultures and time periods, with versions of the tale appearing in ancient Greece, China, and Egypt. The Grimm brothers' version of the story is based on the oral storytelling traditions of Germany and other European regions. Jakob and Wilhelm Grimm were German academics and cultural researchers who aimed to preserve the cultural heritage and oral storytelling traditions of German-speaking areas by collecting and publishing numerous folk and fairy tales during the 19th century. The first literary European version of the story was published in Italy by Giambattista Basile in his Pentamerone in 1634. The most widely known version in the English-speaking world was published in French by Charles Perrault in 1697. The story of Cinderella has influenced popular culture internationally, lending plot elements, allusions, and tropes to a wide variety of media. The name Cinderella has come to mean someone whose attributes are unrecognized or someone who unexpectedly achieves recognition or success after a period of obscurity and neglect. The brothers Grimm's version of Cinderella is darker and more complex than the more widely known version by Charles Perrault, which includes the fairy godmother and the glass slipper. In the Grimm version, Cinderella receives help from a magical tree growing on her mother's grave and the birds that visit her. The stepsisters in the Grimm tale also suffer gruesome consequences for their cruelty towards Cinderella. Cinderella reflects the values, beliefs, and societal norms of the time in which it was collected and published, touching on themes such as class, social mobility, and the transformative power of kindness and inner beauty. The story has persisted through the centuries due to its powerful message and relatable characters, making it one of the most well-known and beloved fairy tales of all time. Interpretations to fairy tale Cinderella. Cinderella, also known as the Little Glass Slipper, is a folk tale with thousands of variants worldwide. The story revolves around a young woman living in unfortunate circumstances that suddenly change to remarkable fortune, as she ascends to the throne via marriage. The earliest known variant of the Cinderella story is the tale of Rhodopis, which is about a Greek slave girl who marries the king of Egypt. The brothers Grimm's version of Cinderella offers a variety of interpretations, reflecting the depth and complexity of their collected fairy tales. Some key interpretations of the story include inner beauty and kindness. One of the central themes in Cinderella is the importance of inner beauty and kindness. Cinderella is a character who is mistreated by her family, but her inherent goodness, patience, and humility ultimately lead her to a better life. This theme emphasizes that true beauty lies within and that kindness can triumph over cruelty. Social mobility and class. The story of Cinderella touches on the issues of social mobility and class. Cinderella, who is initially relegated to a lower social status by her stepfamily, rises above her circumstances and finds happiness with the prince. This theme resonates with readers as it offers hope for change and the possibility of a better life, regardless of one's background. Justice and retribution. The brothers Grimm's version of Cinderella features a darker, more vengeful aspect, with the stepsisters suffering gruesome consequences for their cruelty. This interpretation highlights the theme of justice, as the stepsisters are ultimately punished for their actions, while Cinderella is rewarded for her patience and goodness. The role of fate and magic. Cinderella's transformation and eventual happiness are aided by magical elements, such as the tree on her mother's grave and the birds that help her. This theme suggests that fate and magic can intervene in human lives and help bring about positive change, especially for those who are kind and deserving. The power of perseverance. Cinderella's story demonstrates the importance of perseverance in the face of adversity. Despite the hardships and mistreatment she endures, Cinderella remains kind and hopeful, eventually achieving happiness and success. This theme serves as a reminder to readers that maintaining hope and resilience can lead to positive outcomes. These interpretations of Cinderella showcase the themes and messages that continue to resonate with readers today, illustrating the enduring appeal of the Brothers Grimm's fairy tales. Adaptations of the fairy tale Cinderella. Cinderella is one of the most well-known and frequently adapted fairy tales, with numerous adaptations across various media. While many adaptations draw from Charles Perrault's version, which includes the fairy godmother and the glass slipper, some adaptations are inspired by or incorporate elements from the Brothers Grimm's version. The fairy tale of Cinderella, as told by the Brothers Grimm, has been adapted and reimagined countless times over the years in various forms of media, including literature, film, television, and stage productions. Here are some specific examples. Films: Aschenputtel, 1955, a West German film adaptation of the Brothers Grimm's Cinderella that retains the darker elements and features the magical tree and birds instead of the fairy godmother. Three Wishes for Cinderella, 1973, a Czechoslovakian German adaptation that combines elements from the Brothers Grimm and Charles Perrault's versions, presenting a more resourceful and assertive Cinderella. Ever After, 1998, this film starring Drew Barrymore is a retelling of the Cinderella story with a more feminist twist. It portrays Cinderella as a strong and independent woman who takes charge of her own destiny. Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, 1997, this made-for-TV movie features a diverse cast and updates the story for a modern audience. It also includes several new songs written by Rodgers and Hammerstein. Animation: Cinderella, 1950, Disney's animated classic takes inspiration from Charles Perrault's version but also includes some elements from the Brothers Grimm's tale, such as the role of the birds in helping Cinderella. This animated film is one of the most well-known adaptations of the Cinderella story. It follows the basic plot of the original fairy tale, with some additional elements added for comedic effect. Cinderella Monogatari, 1996, a Japanese animated television series that offers a fresh take on the story, blending elements from both the Brothers Grimm and Charles Perrault's versions. Theatre and Ballet, Cinderella, 1899, a ballet by Jules Massenet that incorporates some elements from the Brothers Grimm's version, such as the birds that assist Cinderella. Into the Woods, 1986, a Stephen Sondheim and James Lapine musical that weaves together various fairy tales, including the Brothers Grimm's version of Cinderella. Into the Woods, 1986, this musical by Stephen Sondheim and James Lapine features a mashup of various fairy tales, including Cinderella. It explores the consequences of getting what you wish for and the importance of taking responsibility for your actions. Literature: Ella Enchanted, 1997, a novel by Gail Carson Levine that reimagines the Cinderella story, incorporating elements from both the Brothers Grimm and Charles Perrault's versions. The novel was later adapted into a film in 2004. Cinder, 2012, a novel by Marissa Meyer that retells the story of Cinderella in a futuristic, sci-fi setting, drawing inspiration from both the Brothers Grimm and Charles Perrault's versions. Cinder by Marissa Meyer, 2012, this young adult novel reimagines Cinderella as a cyborg living in a futuristic society. The novel incorporates elements of science fiction and fantasy into the traditional fairy tale. Ashpet, an Appalachian Tale by Joanne Compton and illustrated by Scott Cummins, 2002, this children's book retells the Cinderella story with an Appalachian setting and cultural influences. These adaptations showcase the enduring appeal and versatility of the Cinderella story, illustrating how the tale continues to inspire artists and captivate audiences across various media and genres. These are just a few examples of the many adaptations of the Cinderella story. The enduring popularity of the tale speaks to its timeless appeal and the ability of storytellers to adapt it to different times, places, and cultures. Summary of the plot. In the Brothers Grimm version of Cinderella, a young girl named Cinderella lives with her wicked stepmother and two stepsisters, who treat her cruelly and force her to work as their servant. Cinderella's father is alive but does not protect her from the abuse. After her mother's death, Cinderella plants a hajel tree on her grave and often visits it, seeking solace. One day, the king organizes a festival, inviting all the young ladies in the kingdom to find a bride for his son, the prince. Cinderella's stepsisters and stepmother attend, leaving her behind to finish her chores. Cinderella visits her mother's grave and asks for help, and the tree provides her with a beautiful dress and shoes. Cinderella attends the festival, catching the prince's attention, but she leaves before the end of the event to avoid being recognized. The festival continues for 2 more days, and each time Cinderella receives a new dress from the tree and dances with the prince. On the last night, the prince follows her as she leaves, hoping to find out who she is. Cinderella manages to escape but loses one of her golden shoes in the process. The prince uses the golden shoe to find Cinderella, trying it on the feet of all the young ladies in the kingdom. When he reaches Cinderella's house, the stepsisters try to force their feet into the shoe, even cutting off parts of their feet to make it fit. However, birds from the hajel tree alert the prince to their deception. Finally, Cinderella tries on the shoe, and it fits her perfectly. The prince recognizes Cinderella as the girl from the festival and marries her. The stepsisters attend the wedding, but the birds from the hajel tree punish them for their cruelty by pecking out their eyes. Cinderella, now the princess, lives happily ever after with her prince, while her stepmother and stepsisters receive their just punishment.